Velocity. Superior design, superior performance. The Velocity is a truly modern, state-of-the-art high-performance aircraft. No other kit airplane offers the quality, performance, comfort, and superior design like the Velocity. And best of all, the Velocity is the best buy of any high-performance four-place kit available. Combining proven, well-tested building techniques with a very complete kit, the Velocity has proven itself a winner by pilot builders around the world. The Velocity has consistently received glowing reports in major aviation trade publications ever since the Velocity's debut in 1985. Magazines providing reviews include Kit Planes, Sport Pilot, Air Progress, Custom Planes, Sport Aviation, and Plane and Pilot. Here is what Norm Goyer from a recent issue of Custom Planes had to say. The Velocity series, especially the XL, is a very well-balanced aircraft and is truly a delight to fly. The flight was over all too soon for me. An advertisement in a national magazine comparing the Mooney MSE to a Bonanza had this statement: pound for pound, knot for knot, dollar for dollar, the Mooney MSE is the best value in a high-performance single. They went on to show a comparison with the Bonanza. When we add the Velocity RG to the comparison, we see that the Velocity RG wins over the Mooney and the Bonanza in each and every category. Let's take a ride as pilot Brendan O'Riordan demonstrates the Velocity XL RG.
Okay, power's coming in. Okay, speed's picking up. 40, 50, 60, 65, stick full back. Here comes the nose, and 68 knots. Rotate, and we're off the ground.
After takeoff, the pilot is treated to a spectacular 1,500 foot per minute climb out. Once at cruise, the Velocity XL-RG will true at close to 200 knots. The camera can only give a basic sense as to the smoothness and comfort of the Velocity. It has a solid feel on the controls that can only be described as riding on rails. With a range of 1,100 nautical miles combined with the Velocity XL's incredible stability and spacious instrument panel, the Velocity is an excellent IFR platform.
What we're going to do is going to level off here and show you the stability of the Velocity. Basically, you get the airplane nice and trimmed up. You don't have to continually have your hand on the control stick or yoke. The airplanes will all fly pretty much hands off. Just slight pitch changes with the electric trim is all that's needed. Once the airplane is established in the cruise flight, you can take your hands off the controls, your feet off the pedals, and it will stay where it's pointed. You put the airplane into a slight turn, you take your hands off the controls, your feet off the pedals, and it will stay in the nice coordinated turn.
Show that turn here.
Okay, we're
so your hands off and we're in a 30-degree turn here?
Yeah. And we'll move. Now the airplane, it's pretty snappy as far as roll rate as well. We can couple both the ailerons and the rudders together so we get a good, nice, snappy roll rate. I'm going to show you a little roll here to the right, and then we're going to come back to the left. Okay. And we're going to come back around here to the left. Here and head on south.
So even though this is a complex aircraft, it's very maneuverable.
Correct. Velocity is also very stable. Once you get the airplane off the ground, you can pretty much put your feet flat on the floor. If you look here at the turn coordinator, I'm going to give us a decent turn here to the right again and show you how coordinated the airplane stays without any rudder input. My feet are now flat on the floor. And here we go to the right.
And that's with the feet flat on the floor.
Feet have been flat on the floor now here for a couple minutes. Yeah. Now the nice thing about a Canard airplane is that we don't have a conventional stall. What we have, the closest thing we have to a stall is called a pitch buck. What will happen is the Canard will reach its critical angle of attack, stall, drop. If I continue to hold the stick back, Canard will start to fly again.
And our speed?
We are about 60, 65, 67 knots right now. And you notice here the Canard is stalling, flying, flying. I've got the stick full aft.
Let's show that. That stick's all the way back.
Stick is all the way back.
Now if we add power, what happens?
Neat thing about all the Velocity models is you add power in a pitch buck, and you notice here the vertical speed indicator there will go from a...
I can't see it, I'm getting glare. Can we turn a little bit? There we go.
Goes from a negative rate of descent to a positive rate of descent, and you can still see here that we're going through pitch bucks. So we're basically in a stall climbing. And as you saw there, we can do this in a turn. We still have roll control.
So we're in a stall situation for a Canard, and we're climbing and turning at the same time with full control.
Correct. Basically, we're standing on our tail there for a second.
So the nose doesn't drop like a conventional aircraft?
Not at all. Not at all. The airplane will continue to climb. Again, the safety aspect, good majority of your general aviation accidents each year are stall spin related at low altitudes. If we can get an airplane that will not, the main wing will not stall, can't spin the airplane.
One of the greatest advantages of the Canard design is it is almost impossible to stall. Here's why. Both the Canard elevator in the front and the main wing produce lift. The Canard on the Velocity, by design, has a slightly greater angle of incidence relative to the main wing. When the aircraft is pitched up to a high angle of attack, the Canard wing will reach its stall several knots before the main wing. When this occurs, the Velocity simply pitches down slightly and continues to maintain full control. The main wing is never allowed to reach stall. With both the Canard and main wing lifting the aircraft, there is no unnecessary drag being produced. The Velocity's Canard design translates into superior safety and performance.
120 knots is gear down speed. Okay, we've got 2 green, gear are down and locked.
On landing, the Velocity XL has a very solid feel on all axes. A speed brake is used on the FG models for a steeper approach and to help slow this very clean airplane. The pilot is afforded an unobstructed view during the approach, and the superior handling characteristics of the Velocity reward the pilot and passengers a smooth ride all the way through the rollout. Today's standard Velocity is a fine-tuned version of our original design. We offer 4 models with a wide range of available options so you can build the Velocity that is right for you. Models include Velocity SUV FG, Standard Velocity RG, Velocity XL FG, and Velocity XL RG. The Velocity SUV, or Sport Utility Velocity, is the newest addition to our fleet, offering an entry-level 4-place experimental aircraft. The SUV has several design features differentiating it from the rest of the Velocity line. First, the SUV features one gull-wing entry door on the pilot's side instead of the standard Velocity's 2 gull-wing doors. The other major difference is the use of dual control yokes instead of the center-mounted control stick found on the other Velocities. The SUV also only uses a fixed gear. The standard Velocity RG features retractable gear and two easy-entry gull-wing doors on each side of the fuselage that allow pilot and passengers to step into the Velocity from ground level. In addition, we've added movable bucket seats front and back that provide a greater flexibility in stowing even full-size luggage. Another great feature of the Velocity is the larger windows that offer superior visibility. The flagship of the Velocity line is our Velocity XL. The XL stands for extra large, and this plane is extra wide by 5.5 inches and extra long by 10 inches. We have also increased the headroom by 1 inch for the pilot and co-pilot and 2 inches for the rear passengers. The Velocity XL sets the standard for both four-place kit and production aircraft in speed, performance, and especially comfort. The next step up is the retractable gear option. The XL can be upgraded to an RG version. The Velocity RGs are sleek, fuel-efficient, and fast. You can expect an increase in speed performance of 12 to 15 knots.
The latest evolution to the Velocity line of aircraft is the XL. The XL stands for extra large, and that's exactly what this airplane represents. We have a cabin that measures 47.5 inches shoulder to shoulder, which is comparable to the Cherokee Lance Saratoga Seneca series. It's 3.5 inches wider than a Cessna 182, 6 inches wider than a Cessna 172 in the Cherokee Warrior series. And it's an extremely big cabin. We've added 10 more inches to the length so that we've got room for additional luggage, or if the passengers are flying without the luggage, we can move the back seats into that same area where luggage would normally be carried so that we can add more leg room to the rear seat passengers. We've redesigned the engine compartment on this aircraft to house the larger 260 and 300 horse engines. In the process, we raised the cabin area 2 inches in the back seat and 1 inch in the front seat for even more comfort for the pilot and passengers. The XL features the same elite door system that we've used in the past. On the XL, we've also added some new features, such as the plenum system fresh air ducts for both the back seats and the front seats, along with the lighting system that will allow us to light up our interior for map reading or passenger reading. We've also added an upper panel, if you can see this panel in here, that allows us all of our switches to be mounted above our heads to clear the instrument panel of any switching, so we have a clear, unobstructed view of the flight instruments. On this particular aircraft, we've also added the convenience of a FM/AM CD player with a 10 CD cassette holder. Going from right to left, we see our radio stack with a moving map GPS. This is our engine instrument cluster, all digital from JPI Instruments, including their EDM 700 series, which includes EGT CHTs for all 6 cylinders, in addition to outside air temperature, oil temperature, fuel flow, battery voltage. And we have a storm scope, in addition to our standard flight instrument package, a Nav 8 autopilot for a wing level, our normal annunciator gauges here for warnings, and all of our engine controls on the left-hand side.
We've seen and flown the Velocity XL. Now let's take a ride in the sporty Velocity SUV. Being a lighter, less complicated Velocity, the SUV offers the pilot a snappy, maneuverable aircraft with no compromises on speed, comfort, and safety.
How the pedals work, the first half of travel on the pedal is rudder, second half of travel is both rudder and brake. So you can see here, I can actually get the velocity to turn within its own wingspan. So with a little bit of practice, you can get in and out of tighter areas than you can with a regular steerable nose wheel. All right, power's coming in. Okay, speed's starting to pick up. 45, 50, 55, 57, 58, we're off. Okay. Now right now we're about 250 pounds shy of gross weight. We've got 2 full-size passengers and full fuel on board. You notice we're getting 900 to 1,000 feet off of initial climb rate. And as we get established here, you'll see that come on up to about 1,400 feet per minute. First what we're going to do is we're going to do a little slow flight. I'll show you the closest thing the velocity can get to a stall, since we're already slow from climbing. What I'll do is I'll pull the power back here, get us you notice here on the airspeed indicator we're at 58, 55 knots, 53, and
okay, I feel a little oil canning here.
What you got here is in the SUV, since we have now installed the vortex generators, we actually have increased the effectiveness of our elevator, and what it's done is it doesn't allow us to get all the way to pitch bucket. It gets us right to before pitch bucket, and it goes into this little shake that you see right here.
And you're now got the wheel almost all the way back?
Wheel is all the way back. I've got it. It's full back.
We're not pitching up and falling through like a normal aircraft would.
No, no. You'll notice here also that
You can actually turn?
Turn the airplane while we're doing this. Now, one thing that is that all the Canards hold in common is that when you add power in what would be our stalled condition, you notice if you look at the vertical speed indicator there,
so
we go from a nice rate of descent to climb. I still have this yoke, it's full back.
Okay, and now we're climbing. Now we're still at the stall condition.
I still have my yoke full back. And you'll notice we'll go to 1,400 feet per minute, then it'll drop down to about 600 feet per minute, then it'll go back up to 1,400 feet per minute.
And that yoke's all the way back?
This yoke is all the way back. It's not going any further back.
Holy mackerel. So I guess that prevents pilots from getting into a dangerous situation when they abort a landing.
Well, yeah.
And they're in this slow flight configuration to begin with.
Figure you have a novice pilot who's coming in to land, something spooks him, there's something on the runway. They add full power, yank back on the stick, they're already at a slow speed. They're not going to stall and possibly go into a dangerous spin at a low altitude. What they're going to do is, as you see here, they're going to climb. And we climb very well in the closest we can get to a stall condition, a lot better than what you'll find in certified airplanes with a similar size power plant. Now the airplane at slow flight cruise as well as fast cruise is a very much a hands-off airplane.
Hands-off, I see.
Yeah, you do not need to always have your hand on the yoke. As you see here, we fly nice and straight. You get the airplane established in a turn, and you can take your hands off the controls, and it'll continue to stay in the turn you have established. And we've been doing this. This is more simulated speed for, say, an approach into landing. So you can see where we pretty much really reduced the pilot's workload. Okay, we're going to do a quick little turn here to the right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, was that without the rudder?
That was with rudder. Yeah, that had a little bit of rudder put into it. And we'll zip right back into a left-hand turn.
So it's very snappy.
we go. Little bump was hitting our own little wake as we came around there.
Probably hit our own wake, right?
That was a good 1.5 G turn. Felt a little more than that though, didn't it?
At Velocity, we take great pride in the quality and completeness of the Velocity kit. All materials are of the finest quality available. Each kit is made to exacting standards to ensure the builder an accurate, finished aircraft. Instructions and assistance consist of a comprehensive yet easy-to-follow builder's manual and a set of videos that follow the construction of a factory Velocity from start to finish. Some of the quality components the builder receives include the pre-molded fuselage, pre-cut foam wing cores, match-drilled wing spars, pre-molded fairings, pre-formed windows, complete hardware including hinges, door clamps, servos, brakes, miscellaneous bolts, and much, much more. At Velocity, we offer a number of equipment options to help you complete your Velocity. We provide only superior parts and will only make them available if we can offer them to you, the customer, at generally a better price. We can provide to you about 90% of all the items you will need to complete your Velocity. Best of all, you get a great price while being assured you're getting the correct items that we have already tested and approved. Whether it's a complete engine and instrument package, pre-wired switch panel, flight instruments, or an avionics package, you will save money and valuable time. Even better is our fast build option. Imagine building your own retractable gear 4-place Velocity in only about 800 hours. The fast build option provides a completely built set of wings and canard that are ready to install and finish. The fuselage comes with the top and bottom halves joined, bulkheads installed, door flanges and windows installed, and much more. With a fast build option, your Velocity is built straight and true and lighter than most home builders can accomplish. Best of all, you will be flying your Velocity much sooner. Also available to Velocity builders is our Head Start building program. Utilizing Velocity's own service center, this program offers the builder an excellent way to accelerate the early construction phases.
Okay, Dick, what we're doing right now is putting the vent line in and the two fuel lines, one behind the fuel well, or the wheel well, and in front. And that'll feed the sump tank, which will feed the engine. And the important thing about these lines is that you've got to first stand around them, you've got to lock them in place, and you've got to build these nice mounds around them, front and back, to keep to stabilize the aluminum lines, keep them from moving in case you move the aluminum line on the back side.
You're going to do that down at the bottom too?
Going to do that down here. It's a little bit more difficult back in there. And do that in here, and then also then you put one layer of glass over it to kind of make it look nice and also to seal it up even better.
With the Head Start program, builders spend from 1 week to 1 month at the Velocity Service Center getting qualified factory help in the critical early stages of construction. Working up to 8 hours a day with experienced factory staff to help, the builder can gain a tremendous head start to get organized and develop good work habits that lead to successful completion of their kit.
I have never built an airplane myself. I have absolutely no experience in this particular type of endeavor. And I was offered an opportunity to participate in this program that they run. I'm here 6 days a week. I'm here 8 hours a day. I set aside a period of time just to complete the project. And it looks like we're making good progress. It looks like we're right on our schedule. I've had so many people while I've been here. There are people coming through continually. And people are very interested in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and if I'm going to be successful doing what I'm doing. And they asked me, I had an individual recently who, it was almost humorous because he and his wife had come and they'd looked, they'd gotten a tour, and then they left, and then about an hour later he came back by himself. And he said, well, I wanted to talk to you with no one else around. I just wanted to talk to you, and I just happened to be sitting here by myself. And he said, will these people, do these people work with you? Because I had a very unhappy experience building an automobile, and I just wanted to make sure that I was going to have the support. And I told him, I said, that was one of the things that really impressed me while I was here. And you know, in life you do have to make judgments about character, about people, and about their integrity. And I just felt immediately that the folks who work here had the integrity, and that they would make themselves available to answer questions, to help people whenever possible. And my own experience here has shown that. There are builders coming through continually that they'll just stop working and go talk to them. They'll actually go out there and help them fix an airplane if they have a problem. They're totally committed to the builder. That was probably the single biggest determinant when I decided to go ahead and build the aircraft here. I have 30,000 hours. I've flown everything from a pit special to up to a 747. I retired as a 747 captain. The airplane has a wonderful feel. It's sensitive, but not so sensitive that you can't control it adequately. It's got good performance. It's just a comfortable airplane. Not only if I wanted to carry 4 people, but I'm a golfer. My wife is a golfer. When we go on a trip, there's more than enough room to get even my great big berther in the back of the aircraft. I don't think you ever decide to go ahead and build an airplane if you don't think about safety aspects. But safety goes back to the company, and if the company is right there with you all the time to help you make the right decision about what components you use, about how you build the airplane, you're going to build a safe airplane. And this airplane basically has a very, very good reputation.
To reassure the builder of how easy it is to build the Velocity to factory specifications, Dwayne took some time to show how the builder aligns the wing components to the main spar.
Before we ship spars and the foam cores, we match the cores to the spars to ensure that when you set this up yourselves, that you'll have a good match. And here's how we do it, and this is basically how you'll do it. We set our spars up on 2x4s, a triangle type of support, sawhorses or whatever, and using these 2 hard points as our guide, we're going to level this spar this way. We're normally using a electronic level, which is quite a bit more accurate than you'll probably ever need. And we're at 1/10 of a degree right now, between 0 and 1/10 of a degree, so we're really close. What we're going to do is take the spar, or take the foam cores that we've made, and we lay them up against the spar, lining them up, and using a plumb bob, line the plumb bob line up with this black line that we put on the foam cores before you get them. If we sight down this plumb bob, we find that this core is in perfect perpendicular alignment with these 2 hard points. If it's not, before you get your kit, we sand it. Excuse me. We take the foam cores and we sand them so that when you get them, we've already determined that we've got a good fit between the foam core and the spar, which is perpendicular to these hard points on the spar. At this point, we can start with our other. When that one is correct, we set our middle core in place, and we basically align it with our first core. And we sand the edges here to make sure our cut is correct and our leading edge fits properly here. When this one is correct, we do the same thing to our outboard core. We slide it into position and check the fit here, check the angle. We also have a level line on the outboard end of this core, which will set the plumb bob to this end and line up this end and make sure we've got any twist in this thing taken care of before we ship out the cores to you. This ensures that when you build this wing, it's going to be as close to our prototype aircraft as you can possibly make it. We're on the other end of the foam cores. We've aligned, leveled our spar. We now have the plumb bob line right in parallel with our marked line on the foam cores. We now know we're perfectly in alignment. We can ship these cores and this spar, knowing that as you as a builder will be able to duplicate what we've done just here. The hole you see in the end of this core runs the entire length of the wing, and it'll be used for plumbing your strobe lights, position lights, and running the conduit or running the coax for your comm antenna.
The fuselage comes as an upper and lower half. The builder measures, aligns, and installs the various components such as the pre-molded bulkheads, firewall, landing gear, and ductwork, following our comprehensive instruction manual and builder videos, which guide you each step of the way. The typical builder will complete the Velocity in 12 to 1,500 man-hours. 50% of the time is spent on the kit, with the remaining 50% spent on engine installation, electrical, and cosmetics. Tools to build the Velocity can be purchased at any well-stocked hardware store. Power tools such as spray guns, sanders, saws, and an air compressor can be extremely helpful, but are not absolutely necessary. No special jigs are required, so all the construction time is spent building the aircraft. These are the major items you will need to purchase to complete your Velocity. Engine and related accessories including the prop and alternator, electrical switches, plumbing such as fuel, oil, and vacuum, oil cooler, upholstery, paint, avionics, and flight instruments. Performance, safety, and comfort. The Velocity offers all this and more. The Velocity is a truly modern, state-of-the-art, high-performance aircraft. And best of all, the Velocity offers the greatest value of any high-performance four-place kit airplane. Velocity, superior design, superior performance.